Maybe it'll work now. Don't need to see my face, that's for sure. Okay. Hopefully it works now. Are we live? We're hot. Got a lot of machining done today. I hope this actually works. I don't know what the deal is here. Um, yeah. Do we have anybody here? One person here. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Three people. Okay. Now we're getting people. Trying to bring you up here. Hey, Andy. Yeah, I'm here. We're good. So, yeah, I did a lot of machining today, and I think it turned out okay, but I don't know until I actually, you know, stick it in here. Um, put this well away from whatever we're doing. Can you hear me okay, Andy? Something happened. It wouldn't connect. The live just wasn't connecting. Hey, Mickey. We're good? We're good. Okay. Oh, Nikki, you're going to be happy in a few days. You are going to be a happy guy. Just going to say that. We'll leave that there. James is here for a bit. Good. I've got all those parts to take care of too. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go set up a vacuum here. Hey, Paul. There is a buildup for the package. Don't worry, you're going to have a good time. You are. So I've got the 660 head here, and what I got to do before I am able to actually check squish is I got to put a chamfer on the bottom here. The thing is, when you machine something like this, the bottom just gets really sharp, and it's certainly one of the advantages of putting this on a lathe is that, and having a mandrel is because you can actually fairly easily go in and create a nice chamfer first, and then you can cut your base, and then there's no chattering or nothing. Or anyway, so that isn't gonna work. Hey, Pat. So all we did was I machined the base here and the piston too, but I got the base here machined on the Bridgeport. So all I need to do here is basically put a chamfer there. Let me turn on the vacuum. That's better done on the lathe, but that's plenty even. You're gonna feel we get the Nikki. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Just open the package first, okay? Let me give this a quick wash. I'm gonna give the piston a quick wash too. And then we'll actually check switch. Whatever. Okay. Don't need that anyway. Because, Nikki, as soon as you open the package, you're going to be laughing too. You will. It's okay. See? James knows what I'm talking about. If James is okay, you'll be okay. Okay. So this is the highway pop-up that I actually add a little extra pop to. Hey, Mason's here. Great. Hey, Jeffrey. I doubt you got the stuff yet, did you? Probably not, right? No, not yet. Okay. Monday then. I got you the tracking number though, right? Crap. You know, I keep forgetting. It won't go. Oh, it will. Which side went up? I don't remember. So this is not a gasket delete. This is a gasketed build. Right, you got the good. You got the tracking. Good. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. is just a trial, just to try it in, you know. We're not doing anything. You don't need rings or clips or anything like that in here. Okay, so before we check squish, here's what we did, or what I did, whatever. The objective is 20,000 squish. We measured it before, and I measured it at like 20, it was 42, and I measured the gasket and it was 22, so you add the two together, so I have a 64 squish, which makes sense because I was trying it with my 60,000 solder and it wasn't coming. So, it wasn't actually marking, so it was bigger than 60 thousandths, therefore 64, okay. I can believe that. So I marked 64 on here. Then what I did was I cut 25 thousandths on the pop-up. That's what I did first. So now if you do that, now the squish is 89. Now if you want 20, you have to take 89 and subtract 20. That's 69 thousandths. That's what I needed to cut off the base, which was barely enough to have it not Freeport, at least according to the mark that I had made. So, first off, let's make sure we don't have a head slapper. Feels like a head slapper. Like a head slapper. No. I did my math right. And it's not Freeporting. We're barely there. So, where? I can't. Let's see. There's the big solder here. What happened? Yeah, I can use a thicker gasket. Right. That's what I'm wondering if the pop-ups sit in the chamber. But it doesn't look like it. Could just be the edge. Yes, I did put the gasket on, but it's not a bad thought. I don't think the pop-up's hitting. We got a squish of 22 thousandths. So it's contacting somewhere. Did the pin slide out? Maybe. Maybe. Tight. Guess what I can do is just cover the top in magic marker and see if I can actually see where it's hitting. I don't think the pop is contacting. I think my squish number is spot on. Piston didn't slide out. I'd be willing to bet it's hitting at an edge, in which case I just need to kind of bevel the edges around. Have a good night, James. Let me try the magic marker first. I know what you're saying, though. I do. I do. Almost see something over here. Let's see. Start off with the assumption that the measurements are good, you know? Yeah, and blue Dykem would probably work fine too. The Play-Doh for sure, if I was trying to check to make sure the pop was not contacting. Although the solder should show that as well. But I don't think that's the case. I'd be willing to bet that it's at the edge of the piston, although I just don't see any marks here. What else could be clickety-clacking? What a pain in the neck. I think it's at the edge of the piston around here. I think that's where it's hitting. I thought I had beveled this pretty good. One more time. Cylinder out around at the top? Maybe. I don't think so. Remember, there was a heavy lip at the top, and I'm. I think if I didn't quite get the diameter of the lip, that's probably what's going to be screwing this up. The question is, can I machine that away easily, or what? You know. It definitely turns over. The grease isn't a bad idea. I thought the magic marker would work good, but maybe the grease is not a bad idea. I like that. A little sour cream would work. So let's measure for squish. I'm like 22.5 thousandths. So my math is good. So it's hitting somewhere else. Freehand that edge with your DeWalt and grip paper. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, see, now it's showing. Over here. At the edge over here. So I have to go at the very edge. Hey, Peter. Sour cream paste butter. Yeah, of course. Right where I'm pointing my finger, the very edge wasn't quite machined to. So somehow I need to get in there. And the best thing to do that with is like an inverted cone, which I do have. In diamond. See, here's Here's an inverted cone. That would work. But ideally, I need to really get in there, and it is hard to do because this is so thick. Maybe. Hang on. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't want to do that. Wishbone and boring bar. Yeah. That would be impressive. Yeah, I'm getting it with this. Okay, hang on. Let's get this out of the way, because I don't want shavings going down in it. Right? Right. Okay. I want to kiss it with the very edge of this, and that's it. Yep. This is definitely working, so... That should do it. Let's try it. Yeah, if this actually goes, I think this is going to be pretty hot, but who knows? Who knows? Hey, Roadrunner. So if I haven't screwed anything up too bad tonight. There's still a little something it's running into, but that is much better. What I might do is just kind of kiss the edge of the piston a little bit. Meep meep. Yep. Yeah, before there was resistance here. Now there's no resistance. That's much better. I think I'll double, triple check it, but okay. Yes, double check the squish. Where's my... Let's turn off. It's just like being in my basement, really. Yeah. Right at the edge here. So yeah, still 22 thousandths. That's correct. So the only thing at this point is just that very last little bit. I'll work a little bit more on, and we should be good. While we're doing this, let's look and make sure that it's not free porting, which I don't think it is. Nope. Nope. That's fine. No free port. Probably darn close at this point, but... just make a little scratch, that's all. Of course, I'm assuming I put the piston in the correct direction, but whatever, doesn't matter. The skirts are the same either way. Come on. Oh, yeah, and actually before that, we'll put the timing wheel on it, right? Put the degree wheel on. Just so everybody knows, this is not necessarily my MO. Yes, I rebuild stuff, but I don't typically take stuff apart and mod it and mod it and mod it and mess with it and whatever. I don't know. On this one, I just kind of felt like it. You know? Yeah, you know, I want to keep doing cool stuff if at all possible, but you can't always hit home runs, you know? And more times than not, I think you guys have seen, I don't hit home runs, you know? I definitely do some interesting stuff, but have mistakes too. So now I'm looking for the flywheel puller here. 19 millimeter. There it is. Yeah, Nick, you got a point. Right, with fuel injection. Well, saws already have fuel injection. That's the Steel 500i, which I think is all. It came into being and then now is off shelves, but probably, hopefully, temporarily. A lot of guys like it, you know. Why did Husky not try that type of pull? Yeah, I don't know. That certainly makes life a whole lot easier with that type of puller. Right, we're doing the wheel. My degree wheel, nothing fancy. Couple of air connections, literally. Pneumatic connections. And it's tapped for M10 by 1.0 and M8 by 1.0. Jeepwood's fun. What's going on, man? NFL was an OT. Who was the Bills and Texas? Bills in Texas, right? The Bills lost. Weren't they ahead at the beginning? Piston stop. This dang thing's in the way, but I'm just gonna kind of ignore that for now. What the heck? Come on. Okay, that's tight there. Pull that out. Bring this to what I think is top dead center, pretty close. Make my arbitrary marks on the top of the head, just so I can line it. I just need to line it up. That's all I need to do visually. Okay, so now with the piston stop, something a little firmer than nylon cord there. Bring it back one direction. It goes to about 60. Over the other side goes to about 30. So I got to compromise and bring it to about 45. I'm just balancing it left to right, that's all. And actually, Mastermind has a great video on how to do this. I need a real piston stop is what I need. I need to get rid of this. Ugh. Or, hang on, I got a better idea. Come on. I don't have to hold it in? Come on. Ah. I'll put an extension on here, just it'll look a little weird. I wonder, there's a longer coupler. No, I don't. This is a little bit more, I don't know, backwoodsy than I'd like, but it'll work. So I just extended this out just a little bit just to get around this temporarily. That way I don't have to take off the brake handle because that's kind of a pain. Okay. Right, so now let's go back and start over. Bring it up to what I think is top dead center. Moves there, moves there, there. Okay. Loosen it. Move it to top dead center over to your mark. That just more or less gets you there close. Back it off. Piston stop in. All right, it clanks at 37. Bring it around. It clanks at 45. So let's bring it down to like 41, 42. A little bit of a tighten. Oh, darn nice right there, actually. I just line it up, eyeball it. That's about 43. 41, 2. 42. So if I'm a degree off, not going to worry about it. Okay. So now it's good all the way around. Sorry, guys. What a pain that is. Do I have an OEM crank? No, I don't. Actually, the Chinese one is holding up pretty good. So now let's look for exhaust. And I need a light for that. Still charging. See if I can get an exhaust number. Right about there. And we are at tap dead center 90. Right on about 100, at least on that side. Let's go to the other side. Right about there, I see light. We're like 99. So right there is pretty much the number we need. So I don't actually need to do anything now to the exhaust. The number is correct. I'll widen it, but I do not want to grind it down at all, like 0. Maybe a hair. We can go to 98, 97, somewhere around in there is fine. Let's look at the in. I will probably have to fill in the intake. Right about there is where we're at. And we have an intake of like 90. That is way too much. Way too much. Let's bring it up to like 80. See how much I gotta fill. 3/16 of an inch. It's a bit. Okay. Let's see if I can see the transfer ports. Probably not. Well, I can see one here. Right there. Transfers are at 90, 100, 110, 120, 90, 100, 110, 120, 125, 26, 27, somewhere in there. So I got to raise the transfers a bit. Let's take the transfers to like 118. Now I need a ring, put the ring in, and we'll get an exact transfer line. This one does not have trouble with the bearings. It's been great. To be honest, the bottom end looks really, really good. I'm usually a pretty big fan of putting original bearings in here. Doing it again, I don't remember. I might have put a Nachi in the flywheel side, but the PTO side definitely has the Chinese bearing in it. If I was going to do it again, the whole thing again, I'd actually use the Husky bearing for the 390 XP for the PTO side. It's cheaper. It's an OEM bearing. It fits in that slot. You could use it. And it got the integral seal. So you don't have to worry about the seal. Get one of the cheap rings that came with the kit. So I put a ring in the head, and what this does is allows me to get an exact number for the transfers, and it'll be even both sides. So bottom dead center. I don't, you can use the Pharmatech rings if you want. If it's me, I change it out to Cabers. For a build like this, Cabers. Is Tim Freeman here? How's it going? Glad you got your computer back, or you have a computer. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take this 100, 110, 120. I don't want to quite. I'm going to take a little past 120. $90, 100, 110, 120. Good. Back to bottom dead center. And now what we've got is we've got a ring that is exactly where I want it. Right. Why risk the Farmer Tech rings when I think it's been fairly, not about proven, but it's common that the cabers get more power. Why in the world do these screws love to stay in here? I can't get it out. All right, whatever. The ring's in here, and I got a bit of grinding to do, that's for sure. Okay. Put it over there, nice and gentle. Now I go in with my Sharpie again. And make a line. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to grind down to the extent of the line. You want it to dry before you try pulling the ring out. To be honest, these are pretty even, left to right. They're slightly sloped towards the intake. They actually look pretty good. Yeah, if the Greek guy can ship to you, Nikki, then yeah, that's going to be your ticket. And I got to fill in that silly intake like a bunch. See if we make a mark here where I think I want to fill 2. Look at how much I got to fill in there. It's that much. From here all the way to there, to that level. So okay, what tack do y'all use to set RPMs? This is the one that that Ken gave me. So thanks to Ken again. This is the one that Ken gave me, DTI 20K tack, and this is probably the one I would have bought anyway. I just have never, I've never had a tack. But Ken gave me the tack, so appreciate it. Everybody can go check Ken's channel, and thank you very much. Sorry. I was getting text. Hey, Boneyard. Yeah, I was getting text messages uh, from Mason. Yeah, I think I actually have a little bit more grinding to do around that squish band area, but you know, I'll get it. Probably like a tool I could just. Anyway, okay, my Sharpie should be about dry by now. Good, not too much bleed down. Of course, I'm also assuming I've got enough right-angle drills here to actually do this much cutting. One thing I know I need to do is I need to actually make more right-angle latch burrs. But in order to do that, I need a disc that's thinner than my usual cutoff disc. I really don't like working with the thin disc mandrels, but that's what I gotta do. Just what I gotta do. Yeah, so I need a thin cutoff disc like that in order to actually make what I'm doing. I need a mandrel. I guess I'll actually use the diamond wheel one. Never mind, I'll use this. Here we go. So I've got a thin disc mandrel, and this is really kind of, you can go buy the right angle drills, you can get the Marathon dental handpiece set up, but if you don't have the right burrs that'll fit, you're kind of up a creek. So you actually have to make the burrs. You actually have to make burrs that'll fit with latch style. Yes, I'm going out. I got to go out the upper transfers, and there's actually quite a bit of grinding here to do. So I want to try making some other burrs here. The one that I have here is pretty fine. I need something that grinds a little bit further, you know. Maybe I'll make a couple because I've got a few things here that'll work. You know what? I think this will work really well. I cut it off right there. Okay. Yeah, this is really like the key to the whole shoot because these these latch burrs, and I use latch burrs in the dental office, but they don't make them big enough to grind on heads. As far as I can see, they don't. Get rid of a couple of things here. So get stuff off my bench. Nikki, I'll show you in a second. Okay, let me see if I have an actual latch type burr sitting around. I might not. I might have. Something might have happened to those. Well, the simple thing, and I'm going to show you this one. So what you need to do is, let's see if I can get it to focus on my hand. Come on, focus. Nope. There. See how there's a flat on the end and a catch. A line all the way around. So it's called latch, and you can look it up. But I'm creating latch. So now it'll go in here, and hopefully the flat will meet up. Gotta round things over and dental burrs you just pop in and click it and you're good. They'll go, but if you're making one, it's a wee bit more tricksy. And I just use a screwdriver on the other end of this as a stop so it doesn't want to rotate. Come on. There's a fine line between having too much of a flat and too little. There we go. Hopefully. So let's see if that actually goes. Okay. A little bit of grease on here. Get this stuff out of the way. Everything out of my way. And we'll work on the upper transfers, basically. So if you get like a professional porting handpiece, like a Fordham, I think they come with burrs and everything that fit. This, I'm making it fit, you know? Works right nice, as far as I can see. You do not want it to chatter like that. You'll burn up the bearings in a hurry. And I grind right down. You guys can see the line in here. Night, Boneyard. Oh no. Boneyard's taking it off. Boneyard, have a good night. Andy, have a good night. So you guys can see the black line I made down in there. I'm grinding down to get rid of the black line, at least to the extent there. How you want to shape the port towards this side is up to you. You lost one. Jeez, Nicky, go to sleep, man. 5 more minutes. You're bad. I hope you don't have work tomorrow. Used hundreds of Farmertech. All have been great. Wow. Well, anybody else has used that many kits? Actually, almost getting down there. Almost good. Need to work that edge a little bit more, but we're about down on the line there. See, here I needed to, I don't know if it's going to cut in reverse. Yeah. At least some. Doesn't chatter as much either. Tell you what, this is a pretty darn good head for lasting this long. Are they double cut? Yeah, they're double cut. We're almost there on this one. A little grease on the tip just to keep it from galling too much. Take care, Nikki. Have a great night. Get some rest, man. Not quite home. I'm going to use the other burr here to try to get this other angle a little bit better. Come on. Yeah, okay, that's going to work. It worked there. Go back to this one. Right at the corner. Back. You can play with this forever. I won't tonight, and I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I'm just going to get this pretty much as nice as I can possibly get it. Yeah, I can call that a night. Okay. I think I'll call that pretty darn good. What I want to do now is check with a ring. I just press the ring down with an old piston, and all you want to do is get relative left to right depth here. So this side in the center is a little deeper than over here, so I want to deepen that in the middle just a little bit. So just over here, I gotta kiss it in the middle. But it's darn close. I haven't beveled yet. We're definitely not to that. Yeah. I know what you're saying, but we're definitely not there yet. Again, ring, piston. Still a little more on this side. Cut out of this guy. So I think the evenness is probably more important than the overall number. If I had to say which is more important, I like even left to right. There's just a little bit there that I want to fix. Okay, let's show you guys. Again, I'm using the ring as just as a relative marker, not an absolute marker. "27 people hanging out. That's awesome. Welcome, everybody. Is there anybody here that I didn't give a shout out to? Right there. Just want to touch it. Yeah, see, now you can go back and bevel that. Not bad for a dentist, right? Yeah. You guys. All right. So, how much time did we spend on that? Quite a bit. Let's go to the exhaust, I guess, and hit that. Well, that's probably busted now. Nope, that's good. Okay. So in the exhaust, let's see, do I actually have any line left here? No. I'm going to widen this just a touch. But I'm going to keep the dead center. I really don't want to do a whole lot too. Dentists go through extensive tooth. Yes and no. They used to do chalk carving, and we don't do that anymore. We don't make us do that anymore. But I've seen my dad's chalk carvings from way back in the day. I think he still has them, and they truly are incredible. Okay. This plating isn't too bad. It's hard, but not flaky, which is nice. Sometimes the plating just tends to flake, and then you're really up a creek. Now, I don't go ultimately wide on the exhaust. You can, but probably better to go a little bit wider. Nice bevel. Make sure you're at your right number. Call it a day. What have to do with the plating? Bevel it best you can. If you think it's not going to affect anything, you bevel it best you can, like internally with a diamond, and pray it doesn't flake, you know? You know, are we talking about a saw for you for play, or are we talking about a saw you're going to give a customer? So I can take a piston, stick it in here, and see exactly what the shape of the port is like. And that opens quite evenly from the dead center on out. I can grind just a hair more here, and then that's it. take the plating out just so I can polish it up nice, you know. Don't touch the plating on the roof there. That's the you definitely do not want to touch the plating. That's the exhaust roof technically. Don't touch the plating there. Okay, that will smooth out when we get the other thing out. Now we can grind on the lower transfers here. I'm actually going to get the Dremel out for that. I've been doing with that because that's getting a little warm. That's awesome. Not surprising. Actually, I thought we would run through one of those right angle heads for sure. I thought that was like a guarantee. Nope. If you keep it from chattering, they definitely last longer. There's no question about that. I put a rounded end carbide on here. Usually works pretty good for grinding pretty much everything else. Okay, so the recap for those people that have hung through. Machined the base earlier. $69,000 off the base. Worked on the exhaust here, the upper and lower transfers. Now all we got to do is probably do the beveling, because those look pretty good. Polishing, beveling, polishing. And then I got to work on the intake. Well, Lost One, you can farm that out. Mike Shetley, Rattler, does a really nice job with that. He's in Carolinas. So you can certainly having the lathe and the Bridgeport is handy. But if you really want to farm it out, I don't think he's unreasonable with his charges. So, you can certainly call in a solid there, and you can get a whole lot of squishes cut by Rattler rather than, you get the idea. Dry off my hands so they actually go into the gloves. I used to have powdered gloves, which made a whole lot of sense. Okay, so you need to do a little bit of polishing. You need to fill the intake. Just trying to think of what to do next. Let's grind on the intake a little bit because it needs to be ground on in order to be able to hold the JB. Great. I need to go back to my inverted cone here. Where that thing went. Make some notches. Again, we're just going to help the retention of the JB weld. The intake itself is just so doggone awkward. Okay, let me go wash this really well, then I'll come back. Be right back. Okay. A bit of brake cleaner. Now we need a piston. This one is actually, the Warhawk piston is actually fairly loosey-goosey in the head. What I really need is a little bit of Reynolds wrap, a little bit of aluminum foil right on there. I'll be back. Good battery. The Reynolds wrap is in there. That's perfection. Let's get rid of this. For some reason, that didn't charge, so need to hold this here somehow. It basically needs to be held upright, so will it sit on the edge? Hopefully. Okay. I'm not going to be on for much longer, so I'm going to, hopefully you guys will forgive me. And I'm going to plug in here. Hopefully we don't lose it from this other one. Okay. Now I need to mix up some JB Weld. So again, I'm filling in the intake here just because it really is just too, there's too much intake. Think of it this way, it's taking too big of a gulp. Every time, every stroke is taking too big of a gulp of air and fuel. Right, but what ends up happening is you lose efficiency considerably, I think. You lose fuel efficiency. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert on porting theory, so please forgive me for that. There are guys that are much more knowledgeable on that than I am. That's for sure. So all I'm doing here is just filling in up against the aluminum foil. Edwin made it? Great. Just in time for the end. Poor guy. So now I'm just going to leave this so this can just set kind of level, and it'll work its way. Kind of hoping it'll actually work its way sort of level. There, sort of level. level. It's that. Or at least it's as level as it needs to be. And that'll harden up in no time at all. We'll be back tomorrow, and I'll work on that a little bit more. So sorry I didn't pay it. Thanks, Lost One. Appreciate it. Sorry I didn't pay attention to the chat more tonight, guys. Just concentrating on working on ahead is quite a bit, and this I think will be pretty good. A couple of minor errors here, but I think we're going to be just fine ultimately. Questions, comments, anything else? Guess it's time to go watch the Pats game, right? And just so everybody, 20 people here, just so everybody knows, Ken just posted a link. It's for the for my affiliate link. If anybody needs parts from HL Supply, please use that link. In fact, everybody click on that right now. Whether you buy parts or not, it'll track you, and if it tracks you, it'll track you for like a month. If you buy parts in the next month, I get credit for it. So, JB Weld stands up. Well, we'll see. For a mess around saw, yeah. The JB Weld certainly is working fine in the other head, and Mason had 5 gallons through that. So. I'm going to let you guys play with your slang. I'm going to say have a great night. Everybody, thanks so much for hanging out. We're going to work on this tomorrow. It'd be cool if we get a pop tomorrow, huh? Let's see what happens. I gotta finish up the JB Weld, get that correct. We'll polish it, and then we'll put it on the saw tomorrow. See where we end up. Have a great night, guys. Take care.